Good evening. Welcome to the Griffin Board of Commissioners meeting for December the 10th, 2013. If you will rise, we will have our invocation by Chairman Holberg and
Chairman now? Last week I was Reverend, now I'm Chairman.
Chairman Holberg, Doug, stop. And our pledge to the flag by Commissioner Morrow.
They got a pay raise?
You did.
Please join us in prayer. Father, we're here today to ask for your blessings and guidance in the performance of our duties as elected officials. We pray for strength, love, knowledge, and understanding. Help us to recognize and solve the problems that are presented. Make our solutions fair and just to the best interest of everyone. Help us to overcome our shortcomings and keep us united as a team to work for the betterment of this city and its people. We pray in your name. Amen.
Please join me in salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
One of our first order of business tonight is we have a graduate of our Citizens Academy here that was not able to go to the graduation several weeks ago. So Curtis, if you will come forward, we'll be delighted to present you your certificate.
Oh, man.
You're just as handsome as your dad. May I tell you that? And this is the Citizens Government Academy 2013 certificate awarded to Curtis Hardwick for successfully completion of the 9th Annual Citizens Government Academy program on this 21st day of November 2013. Congratulations. All right. And our next order of business is to recognize outgoing Commissioner Shahir Biya for his service to the City of Griffin from 2010 through 2013. And if, Shahir, if you will come forward, I would like to present you a plaque. We might as well do it here. Okay. Save us some steps. All right, this is presented to Commissioner Shahir Biya in appreciation for your service to the citizens of District 6 and the City of Griffin, January 2010 to December 2013. Shahir, you have served with honor. You've brought honor to this board. We hope that you will continue to stay interested in city government and especially in the 6th District and in the City of Griffin.
Thank you.
You're going to get it. You want to get a better picture? You're going to give it to him? Alvin, I didn't know you had such talents. Okay. At this time, we will recognize Chuck Smith, Supervisor in the Street Department, as the October 2013 Strongest Link Award recipient. Dr. Brent Keller will address. Good evening.
Good evening. How are y'all tonight?
Good evening.
We're good, thank you.
All right. About a month or so ago, Chuck had the opportunity to be in the field, and as normal, Chuck's always been pretty astute to what's going on. I've worked a lot of storms with him. He's pretty, he looks at more than just his job. Well, he had the opportunity, unfortunately, I guess you'd say, to find Cindy Duncan's mom's papers, that medical records, which had either got dropped and transferred through, however it got lost. But anyways, Chuck could have just took them, threw them away, and it's been done with it. Well, Chuck, with his snooper trooper nose, found the phone number and had called Ms. Duncan, and it did have all the vitals that were on there that should not be in somebody's hands when it comes to transferring of information, drugs, and what have you, and also, you know, your personal records, your, you know, all your accounts for insurance, what have you. To make a long story short, Chuck called, and they were able to return the records to those individuals safely. No information was compromised, and he was nominated by somebody outside my department, and we're just appreciative to have people like Chuck working for us. So this month, he is your strongest link in the chain.
All right.
And we told them it was mandatory to show up tonight. Chuck's not one for glamour and awards and what have you, but we kind of made it a condition. Oh, I guess we have to take a picture.
Okay. How many Christmas trees have you put up over the years in meetings?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of them.
And they look especially nice this year.
Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, it was great.
Great job,
Dr.
Chuck.
Keller?
Speech,
Thank you.
speech.
Okay. At this time, we'll recognize Marcus Schwab, who will bring us our financials for October 2013. Good evening, Marcus.
Good evening, Madam Chair and Commissioners. First item on the list is the cash balance report. And there's one item in there that shows 114 difference on the operating account, and that's the timing of cash receipts versus when we actually issued the check, and those accounts are actually balanced and cleared out at this point. Any questions on the cash? Okay, next up is the local option sales tax report, and you'll notice the key item there, the bottom half of that section on the special purpose on the SPLOST. This is now the 5th month where we've received no funds from SPLOST. We suspect that because the collections are going down, the funds are being reserved at the bank to cover the debt for the construction bonds first. Once that's satisfied, then funds will be released back to the city. Interim statements by fund, or we can look at the revenue detail report, whichever you prefer.
You have the SPLOST annual report.
Yes, sir.
So which one you want?
I'm sorry, the next one, which
The
would be
next one is the
the details.
The details. Go ahead and do the details.
Okay. Are there any specific questions with regard to the details for the revenue for like water or electric or?
Well, they're down,
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
but we knew that was coming.
and yes. We're a little concerned, but we're monitoring the situation.
I want to commend you on lowering, Dr. Keller and team, 34 cents per 1,000 gallons is a reduction to the Spalding County Water Authority. So that's a direct relation in regards to your dedication, the refinancing of the bonds and things. We'll see if it gets passed on.
Any questions on the fund statements then?
Any questions?
Yeah, it's pretty straightforward.
Okay.
So,
Thank you.
thank you, Marcus.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, we're down to the citizen comment section of our agenda this evening. I will open the floor to comments from the audience. Comments should relate to a specific agenda item not listed on the agenda for a public hearing, or to a concern within the jurisdiction of the City Commission. Our meetings serve the purpose of conducting city business and are not a forum for the unlimited expression of opinion. I reserve the right to limit comments to matters germane to city business and may refer speakers to the city manager or other staff for resolution. Having said that, is there anyone on my left who would like to come forward, state your name and your address, and issue a brief citizen comment? Is there anyone on my right? Please come forward and state your name and address for the record. Yes, I'm looking at you. You're the only one that raised your hand.
I'm unsure, I can't see behind me. Hi, my name's Carrie Gebler. I live on MacArthur Drive.
Tell Carrie
Gebler, Gebler.
Okay, thank you.
With all due respect, I think our community would like to know exactly how it is that y'all, in your collective wisdom, decided that the qualities Captain Dwayne has in abundance, like experience, street smarts, concern for our community, amount to 0 on an Excel spreadsheet. Who decided that? Government organizations have been responsible for making some stupid decisions. How do y'all qualify this one? He cares about our community. And y'all are making it sound like that is worth nothing? Is that what you really think? that what he contributes is worth nothing?
Thank you. Is there anyone else on my right who would like to come forward and make a citizen comment? If not, then we will go into the rest of our agenda. We have no public hearings this evening, so now we have one item on the consent agenda. To consider approval of minutes of workshop on November the 26th, 2013, and minutes of regular scheduled meeting on November the 26th, 2013.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the minutes as presented unless somebody has any corrections or additions.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
Abstention.
Right, we have 6 for and 1 abstention. Okay, thank you. All right, we're now down to our regular agenda. The regular agenda includes items on which the commission will individually consider and possibly take action. Item number 5, consider for approval to amend the City of Griffin's fiscal year 2013-2014 operating and capital budget to transfer 1 yard waste position to residential collection and eliminate 3 remaining yard waste positions.
Make a motion to approve the recommendation.
We have a motion to approve the recommendation.
Second.
And a second. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 6, declare 9 pieces of equipment as surplus and offer for sale to public on govdeals.com, to offer for sale to the public on govdeals.com.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve these 9 pieces of equipment as listed as surplus and offer for sale.
A second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to list these and offer them for sale with a second. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 7, consider the use of commission contingency funds to purchase new seating and furniture for customer service lobby in the amount of $18,210 from Impact Office Interiors at state contract pricing and amend the budget accordingly. Do I have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Second motion.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion? Any questions? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 8, consider an addendum to the existing memorandum of understanding for the pavilion at the park at 6. The original memorandum of understanding was approved in March 2011 between the City of Griffin and Spalding County.
Madam Chair, I move we approve, and I'd like to comment.
All right, we have a
Second.
motion to approve and a second with a comment. Okay, Commissioner Mara, go ahead.
I want to thank Spalding County for this initiative. I think this is a great addition over there, and I think they deserve credit. So, well done, guys and gals.
Absolutely.
In regards to the porta john that they're buying, I assume, is that confirmed? The portable thing? Is there going to be a fee for that use, or, I thought I see Diode, or
Right. Dode, yeah, you are
Or-
Taurus.
Taurus, sorry, thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
How's the fee structure going to work in regards to the use of the restroom facility that the county has purchased?
Good evening,
Good evening.
Dawood. I mean, you asking for the fee structure? Where,
I see that the county, we're going to take care of the disposal of the wastewater and stuff like that, but is there a lease fee that we're going to charge anybody that uses the park, or is that inclusive when they use the
that's
park?
part of the rental.
Rental.
When they rent
Okay,
the park, the
that's-
restrooms will be part of that.
That will be part of that.
Perfect, thank you.
Mhm. Yes. Any other questions?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
sir.
Thank you all again.
Thank you. Thank
Okay.
you. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 9, consider the approval to award the bid and work contract to McElroy Construction in the amount of $194,184 for the construction of sidewalks for the Public Works and Utilities Department. Okay, that's not on here, but we will amend the budget accordingly.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the bid and amend the budget accordingly.
All right.
Second it with a comment.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Okay.
And this will
Commissioner
run
Hallberg?
from, this will be from Olive Grandview, and then it'll be from Poplar Street all the way out past high school to Pine Hill Road. Is that, we'll go further than Pine Hill, or we'll stop at Pine Hill at this point?
That's the city limits.
That's, okay,
Yeah.
okay, great. Good job, Dr.
every end could sure use a sidewalk too. There's so many people that walk along there. Right, maybe the next block, that's true. All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 11. No, item number 10, consider the approval to transfer the interdepartment funds in the amount of $19,460 within the water and wastewater budget for the hiring of the new Potato Creek wastewater treatment plant superintendent.
Madam Chair, I move we approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 11, consider for approval the authorization to repair the city pool pump station and electrical control panel in the amount not to exceed $40,000. Authorize the use of commission contingency funds and amend the budget accordingly.
Make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you, Judy. Thank you. All right, item number 12. Consider lease agreement between the law offices of G. Allen Dodson LLC and the City of Griffin for 1283 rentable square feet of space referred to as Suite 405, 1 Griffin Center, 100 South Hill Street.
Madam Chair, I move we approve the lease, releasing.
All right, we have a motion to approve the leasing. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve. Any discussion? All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it is unanimous. Thank you. Item number 13, consider a resolution approving an administrative reorganization. Do I have a motion to approve?
Madam Chairman, I make a motion to approve.
All right, we have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to approve an administrative reorganization. All those in favor, please raise your right hand.
I think we need to have discussion about it at least.
All right, well,
So,
absolutely. If there are some comments to be made or discussion, please go ahead.
let's just start, Kenny, give an overview of the general idea and everything, because I know this has obviously been a hot button issue and a topic that's come up
Sure.
recently. So.
Sure, and I'll just reiterate some of the things that I've already released. For years, we've realized and we've recognized and we've discussed that our law enforcement expenses within the city are significantly higher than other jurisdictions of similar size. We had hoped that that would correct itself through department attrition. However, it hasn't over the last several years. During the last several years, as everyone knows, we've had some tough economic times. We've had to make some very tough decisions, prioritizing our resources financially to meet our goals and our objectives, which first and foremost are improving the quality of life for our citizens. Many of these decisions that we've had to make have impacted the lives of our employees. Lack of salary increases, increased cost of insurance, consolidation of positions, eliminating positions and privatizing some of our services. Due to our current budget constraints and our future budget considerations and the need to address some field level issues, I have presented a recommendation to you to reclassify and or to consolidate some police department administrative positions. After the success of our Code Enforcement Task Force, it was recommended by that task force that additional permanent manpower be allocated to code enforcement so that the gains that they had made in addressing code enforcement issues could be sustained. We recognize that a lot of our crime issues are the result of years of ignoring the issues of substandard housing, of blight, of littering, of defacement of property. And a successful strategy for preventing crime is to fix those problems when they're small, and the tendency is that those problems do not escalate, and thus respectable citizens don't flee your community. Due to budget constraints, this priority can only be accomplished through the reallocation of present resources. Chief Strickland presently serves as Police Chief and Director of Public Safety with responsibilities over both police and fire. The recommended reorganization of public safety will give him added responsibilities solely as Public Safety Director and a police chief will be hired to run the day-to-day operations of the police department. As the public safety director, he will have the direct operations of the police department, the fire department, code enforcement, and animal control under his direction. The proposed administrative restructuring of the police department will eliminate 3 administrative positions, consolidating those into one position, and reclassifying 1 administrative position. The Uniform Patrol Division and the Criminal Investigative Division will be commanded by captains rather than majors in the proposal. The captain's position in administrative services and the captain's position in community services would be eliminated. This in no way will affect the amount of officers who patrol our streets or investigate our crimes. Positions are being reclassified and consolidated to meet industry standard best practices. Any employee who may be negatively impacted by this restructuring may assume any other position within the city for which they're interested and qualified. In addition, 1 code enforcement officer will be added to our code enforcement staff, and the environmental control officer from the solid waste department will be assigned to code enforcement to make that total of 4 code enforcement officers as was recommended by the task force. Although moving code enforcement over to public safety, they'll continue to work hand in hand with our development services department and building inspectors to continue their concentration on substandard housing and blight. The budgetary impact from these changes will result in a net initial savings of a little over $140,000. The final change to your administrative organizational chart that you have before you is simply to remove the airport supervision from Development Services Division where it has resided over to the administration of the Airport Authority. I want to reiterate that the city values and admires and appreciates the contributions of all of its employees, and it regrets the need to reorganize and restructure any of its departments as seem to be dictated by today's financial climate.
Any other discussion?
Yeah, I'll start because this has obviously had a lot of coverage, a lot of people talking about it recently, and I know I've spent the past 5 days, I guess, constantly thinking about it, and I appreciate a lot of the emails and comments made where you can tell people are very passionate about individuals that are involved in the department, their relationships that have been established, and that sort of thing. And at the same time, I've been reading on posts on Facebooks and emails where I'm not as appreciative of a lot of the comments made toward Kenny Smith's way. And, I want to throw that out there, that some of the comments out there just saying he's ludicrous, he's insane, he's stupid, he's insincere, an ass, he's hiding something. You get what you pay for. And then we've had veiled threats that have told him and us that we better rethink this. And I find it interesting that people who have some limited relationships with the police department, with officers, they have a friend in the department or a family member in the department, and a plan is presented by Kenny Smith, and automatically it's the wrong plan. And I just find it interesting that they know that it's the wrong plan, despite the fact that Kenny has overseen and observed this department as well as the entire city for 10 years, and using 22 years of law enforcement prior to that as a reference point. And I think I tried to do my research. I did the same thing that a lot of people did. We're talking a lot about budgets. I went to DCA website, latest information is that 2011 data. And I did those same comparisons where I looked at that cost per capita, which I know a lot of people are critiquing, but where ultimately Griffin, I took between 10,000 and 50,000. Now those 50 cities, we were ranked 4th highest. And then ultimately, I know the criticism is, well, you can't just look at per capita. There's crime relevance, there's poverty, there's, all these other dynamics. But any way you shape it, if you reorganize that list, the best we can do is fourth highest per capita. I mean, it's not going to go to fifth or sixth. But despite that, I ultimately had to ask myself, under a restructured model, do I believe that the new model, that we can provide a service as good, if not better, under a restructured model that does involve savings and does involve a shifted focus towards an emphasis on code enforcement? Do I believe that we can do that as well, if not better? And ultimately, no one in this room knows the future. We have no idea if it will, but ultimately it came back to the answer of I have to put some trust and faith in the person who has, again, observed the entire department for 10 years, who has tried to work in that department as efficiently as possible under the existing structure, and who has ultimately come to the decision that it can be done better. And so I know when Kenny presented this to us, this was extremely difficult for him. He knew he was going to get bashed on Facebook, and he knew he was going to get these emails. And so while people are writing on there that he's stupid and he's an ass and hiding something, knowing he decided to go ahead and make this tough decision, I'd like to describe it, I think it was brave. And, I'm ready to take the lumps with him, get bashed on there for a decision I know that I'm going to make. But I know it's extremely tough. I know he's had to use years of experience, ultimately his expertise in doing it. I hate that it involves the individuals that it does involve. I mean, you absolutely hate that. But I'm willing to give this restructured model a try, and I'm willing to believe in the plan. Because I think ultimately an efficient, effective department, if that's what we have a chance at, a more efficient or effective department, I think that's exactly what the taxpayer wants.
Thank you, Ryan. Is there anyone else who would like to make a comment on
Yes,
the
I'd like
podium? Okay, please do.
I'd like to weigh in too, because I too received quite a little bit of information, some of it false, some of it real, opinions. I weighed all that, but I think what's missing in a lot of this hyperbole that's out there is the fact that when I got elected, the city had 511 employees. Today, the city has 461 employees. That's 10% of our workforce has been eliminated over the last 8 years. And the very simple reason is because of the economy, the recession, the lowering of property tax values in business. This board has made tough cut after tough cut to bring that cost down. We've re-engineered, we've done all the management things that we can do, and every department has been cut, every department has been re-engineered, every process has been looked out, all the contracts have been renegotiated. So we have removed 10% of our employees, and all of us sitting up here have known many of those. It's very difficult when there are people you know that have to be removed for business purposes, but that's what we're elected to do, run the city on a budget and provide the best service. Now, we used to have an assistant city manager. We removed that position. We've done what's called flatten the organization. We have taken out layers of management throughout the city and, as they say, flatten the organization. Includes the police department. This is part of that process. So the police department is not being singled out as for some special consideration here. Every department has gone through the same thing, and this is our latest round. I too, like Ryan and I believe the other commissioners, believe that we can perform the same service by beefing up code enforcement and putting those boots on the ground, removing some administrative services. We can lower our budget, which is always difficult, and we hear taxes, taxes, taxes. This board has never raised taxes since I've been here, and we have to keep the budget in line in face of all that we're dealing with, including inflation. So it's a necessary problem. I think each of us deeply appreciate the personnel that will lose their positions. I know them all, we all do. They're wonderful people, but we have a business to run on a budget, and this seems to be the best solution to the problem. And by the way, Kenny was not out here some manager just running amok, coming up with this. This board has consistently directed him to find any place we can cut, any place we can lower cost. And he has had to come up with these 50 people who lost their jobs over the last several years and others. So he is being directed by this board to find these sorts of cuts, and he's doing what we have told him. And I appreciate what he's doing and his business acumen. So I do support 100% what he says. No one knows if this is the perfect answer. There never is a perfect answer, but we think this is the best answer at the moment. And as time goes by and years go by, if a different answer appears, we can always change and have a different answer. But I think he's done what we've asked him. So that's my response.
The only thing that I would add is we're not sacrificing the safety of our citizens. If anything, we are quite aware of the safety of our citizens. And so therefore, putting people on the ground in order to clean up areas, to provide people the ability to be able to come out of their house in a safe environment, that's something that most of you sitting in that audience and I cannot imagine living in a neighborhood where I'm afraid to go out in the morning and get my paper. That has to be a terrible situation that you are afraid to leave your house. And we're talking about elderly ladies who are afraid in certain areas of this community to leave their house because they don't know what's going to come down the street to do them harm. We have really set a mission of trying to enforce against substandard housing to make this a safe environment for every citizen of the city of Griffin. And that has been our goal this year. And this started back in February. And I will echo what Ryan said, what Dick said. We presented our goals to Kenny in February at a retreat. And we said, you know, we want, yes, please, there's nothing funny about getting away to try to set goals for the city. You diminish the value of what we're doing when you sit back there and you laugh. This is not funny. It's a serious situation. And it's not Facebook where you can say anything you please behind, ma'am, I'm not talking to you, about words. This has been a serious situation that we have tried to administer and to address. And we gave this direction to Kenny when we were at a goal retreat in order to see what this board wanted to accomplish. We feel that he has followed our orders, and we hope that this will be a solution to some of the things that that the citizens present to us on a daily basis. Anything else that you would like to say?
First, I want to thank Ryan for bringing this up, because
Yes.
that was my next move, to raise my hand to ask that we make comments. And I pray that nobody comes to me and say anything about Kenny, because I don't think I would take that very well. But when I first came on board of this commission, as a commissioner, the first thing that I read was the organizational chart. And at the top of that chart was the citizens. And I took that to heart. And I believe that. I believe in that. And over the past few days, I have heard from the citizens, and I listened to them sincerely. And in my heart, I just feel like it's too many citizens that have concerns about this. And I think that they should be heard. I think we should listen to them. Therefore, at this point, I just cannot, my heart won't allow me to vote for this because of that.
Well, my take on the situation is, for so very long, so many of the policies that we've instituted at the city have not completely benefited all of the citizenry. And so each of us is elected to represent an individual district, but we're all here because we want to see the entire city benefit and be better for everyone that lives here. And what I see in this plan is, finally, we are taking the resources that we have and making them accessible to everyone in the city. So where I feel that it is absolutely unfortunate that the reorganization is going to cause some people to lose their jobs, if that means that there's going to be somebody else on the ground that's going to be able to provide the services to people in my district that haven't been able to receive them for several years, I'm going to vote for it. Because, no, I don't think anyone should lose their job, but there's 4,000 people that live in my district that are going to be greatly appreciative that there's someone else in our district working to make sure that it's a better place. So, no, I don't think we should sacrifice one for 4,000, but I don't know anyone who would tell me that there is one person that is more important than 4,000 people that live in the city that are going to be appreciative of it. So it's not with a light heart that any of us make this decision, because these are people that we know and deal with on a very personal basis because they're the employees and they're at the top of the employee chart. So this isn't somebody that's stuck back in a closet that none of us know. This is people that we have personal relationships with. And of course, I don't want to look at anyone and tell them, yeah, I voted for something that's going to cause you to lose your job. But I'm up here because I want the entire city to benefit, not certain areas because one person is more effective in certain areas than they are in others. So I, along with everyone else, asked Kenny, and have asked him several times, specifically about the code enforcement, to make sure that that's spread out across the city, and that when someone calls and complains, it doesn't take weeks and weeks for those needs to be met. He says this plan will fix that. I'm gonna vote for it.
Okay? Has everyone said their say? All right, then it's time for the vote. Do I have a motion to approve?
We have a motion and a second already.
All righty, we have a motion to approve and a second. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Okay, it's 6 for and 1 against. Having concluded our business, City Manager, do you have a report?
Just a couple, last meeting of the year. I want to wish everybody happy holidays. Keep in mind that we won't be meeting on the fourth Tuesday, however. We do have board appointment nominations that we will be working on between now and the first of the year, so make sure that those people who are interested get their names in the book for any boards that we will be advertising that we have openings on. I want to congratulate the Griffin Bears. They'll be at the Dome Saturday night
Absolutely.
about 5:30. So hope everybody can be there to cheer them on as they play for the state championship.
Okay, very good.
Thank you.
Drew, any comments?
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Right, Merry Christmas. Ryan, any additional comments?
Yeah, Kenny stole what I was gonna bring up, was the Bears. So I hope everybody make it to the Dome. That's exciting. And Merry Christmas to you guys.
Cora?
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Right. Shahir?
Just want to say I enjoyed working with you guys, and I wish all of you a happy holidays, and I will be back.
Okay.
All right.
We look forward to it. Dick?
Well, it's been a tough year, but I think this board has worked together well as a team. I'm proud of the board. We've had to make some tough decisions like this one, very difficult, but that's our job. Merry Christmas to y'all, and thank you. See you next year.
Doug?
I'd like for us to, Chairman Taylor came in today and talked about the 800 megahertz. I'd like for us to put that on the agenda, our first workshop in January, and see if we can hammer out. And then whoever's elected chairman, maybe they can get with their chairman and figure out prior to that what we can do to get that behind us and move forward into the future. And I just want to, Tasha here, thank you for your service on the board. We don't always see eye to eye, but we both have a passion, and we all have a passion for this community, and we're always here for you if you ever need us, and give us a call, or same way we're going to call you when we need you to help us clean up the streets. So you sincerely made a difference in your neighborhood, in Spring Hill and that whole area, because you're there, and we share a district, because you've been there making a difference. It's been very good. So thank you, and best wishes.
That's true, and the youth that you work with will someday come and be orderly adults with manners, and that's something to look forward to. And I do wish